Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm going to set the record straight today. I'm going to talk about Collin Kaepernick today. I've also got a few other things that I want to talk to you about, so go ahead, grab yourself a cup of coffee, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, sign up for alerts, do all the stuff that you normally do. My name is Andrew Alvarez and I am the Latino conservative. Okay, so first things first. Before I get into the not so much of a rant or rave about it, I want to talk to you a little bit about something that I learned in high school. You see, when I was in high school, I was in band. And when I was in college, I was in band. And I did a lot with music. Whether that was marching, playing in different ensembles, going to competitions, playing gigs outside of high school and college bands. I was on stage quite a bit. Everything from a 5-person show to a 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 person show. I've been there, done that with music. One thing that I kept on hearing, both on the field, on the marching field, and in the ensemble chair was, take off the horse blinders. You see, I could play my music, no doubt about that. I was one of the better players in the group. I could play note for note every single thing, but if I wasn't playing with the group, I was dirty. So, in Drumline, for example, you've heard you've seen the movie One Band, One Sound. You've got two drummers out there. One, Nick Cannon, is playing this hotshot drummer who can play note for note every single lick out there and then some. But his deal was trying to make it so he could be part of the ensemble. While in music, we're playing with laser focus attention to our parts, we've also got to take our horse blinders off too. So when you have your horse blinders on, you have tunnel vision. You just see straight ahead of you. You can't see what's on the side of you. You take that off, you open up a whole new world. There's more than just right or wrong right now. For example, I had horse blinders on when it came to Collin Kaepernick. All I saw was a guy that was kneeling at the playing of the national anthem to the flag. I criticized him. I said, you started kneeling when you had a love-hate relationship with your team. And your coach was getting on to you because you started crapping out towards the end of the season, beginning of the season, didn't start so well, so you sat down. And then when you're called out, you get the point. That was my thought behind it. I didn't look past that. So if he really did sit down initially just as a temper tantrum, and if he really just started kneeling down as a temper tantrum to protest not social injustice, not police reform, but to protest against his team, if he did that, okay, that's on him. Who am I to blame him? Who am I to say that he is wrong? One thing that I've been preaching a lot lately is judge not lest ye be judged. I have no room to judge him. I am not a judge. I have one judge in my life, and that's God Almighty. That is my judge. So while I may not like kneeling, that is not my cup of tea. I do totally respect what he is kneeling for now. Like I said, if he's done it in the past for a different reason, but what he's doing now is something worthwhile, great. We all have a past, and if a man is solely judged by his past, this whole world is going to crap. Kind of already is going to crap anyway, but you get my point. So I took those blinders off, and I was just looking at this dude is disrespecting the flag. This dude is doing this. I see all these other professional teams kneeling, protesting, boycotting. If that's what they choose to do, let them do that. It's their call. I understand. They get paid tons of money. I don't. But they do have the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and if that's how they choose to express themselves, let them do that. In another topic, let's look at something more recently that happened. This is where we're going to take off the horse blinders again and perhaps look at how one person might see a situation versus the way another person might see a situation. Jacob Blake, Kenosha. I know it's a touchy subject. Just bear with me. This dude got shot in the back 7 times. Okay? One way to look at that is just that. This guy was defenseless. He went to his car. He was reaching inside to make sure his babies were okay. The cop shot him 7 times in the back. That's one way to look at it. That is your prerogative. You want to look at it that way? Okay, I understand this. I get this. I'm not arguing that. But look at another way too. This guy was already being investigated for being a possible felon with warrants. He already admitted to having a weapon in his vehicle. He reached into his car to possibly get that weapon. The cops didn't know that he had kids in there. They didn't know why he was reaching to. They just know that he was reaching to get something out of his car, so they shot him. 7 times, my personal opinion, could have been extreme. If the guy had him by the back of the shirt, I personally would have pulled the shirt. However, this is why I am saying also that while we have some groups that are advocating defunding the police, I say maybe put some more money into it. Because you've got 2 point of views there. You've got one guy that is reaching in, for all we know, getting his registration and his license. That's very well could have been what he was doing, or to make sure his babies were okay in the car. You have another situation, another point of view, where these police officers that are already in a high stress job, they have some guy that is a possible felon with warrants that is reaching, grabbing something, and he's already admitted to having a weapon in his vehicle. So you've got those 2 points. How do we fix that? In my personal opinion, it's not defunding the police. It's not taking away the money. In fact, I think we need to give more money out there. I'm going to pause real quick because I don't want to sound like I am anti-police. I am not. I'm very pro-police. I'm a guy. I've had one draw on me when I was trying to protect some kids from adults fighting. Yes, I'll admit, I've had my face up against the window of my own car because my taillight was out. I understand. There are issues out there. There could be some social injustice issues that happen with the police. This is why I say that we need actually more training. We need to put more investment into these people because we're trusting them with our lives. You go to a police academy for about 6 months. Great training, okay. And then what? What happens after that? Maybe once a year, twice a year, you go through firearms training. Make sure you're still proficient with your weapon. Well, we have other weapons too. We have this right here. This is a weapon. This is the biggest weapon that we need to start using, ladies and gentlemen. Figuring out what makes a person tick doesn't need a piece of metal in your hand. It requires this right here. We need more training because think of our military. And I think our police should be more along the lines of military style training because you've got these men and women that will go bust into a door in a war zone, see a guy that fits the picture of being a stereotypical terrorist sitting there when they weren't expecting him. And they can calculate and they can judge within a fraction of a second if that guy is a threat or if he is not because of the training that the military continuously goes through each and every single day of their life. They get that. If somebody in the military messes up, they go to Guantanamo Bay. They get demoted. They get whatever, something like that. Some big type of punishment. Justice-wise for our police, if they mess up, sometimes they get acquitted. Again, I'm not saying the police are bad. I'm saying we've got to do something about it. The vast majority of our police officers are great people. Good friends of mine are police officers. In fact, when I was evacuating the hurricane, I had a couple officers help me change a tire in my trailer that blew out. They wanted to help. They didn't let me do it. They wanted to help. There's some great men and women in there. We need to give them the tools they need to be successful. And we need to hold accountable those that screw up. Another narrative, same issue, same place, Kenosha. You've got a little boy, and I'm saying little boy because he is legally a little boy. He's 17 years old, who has a gun. In his state, Illinois, you have to be 22 to be able to own a gun. I didn't check the laws in Wisconsin. I just know in his state he was too young to own a gun. You've got two ways to look at that. This guy killed two people over here on this side, and he injured another one. You've got another side. This guy was protecting businesses and residents from looters and rioters. Two trains of thought there. First of all, the guy's in a different state. He shouldn't have even been there. 17 years old. Come on, Mom, why in the hell did you take him over there so he can be in some potentially violent areas? Protect your kid. You should go to jail for that. He had an AR-15 style gun. Again, I believe that's a perfectly fine gun to own. It is not an assault rifle, but you obviously saw pictures of him carrying the rifle. The first guy he shot and killed was attacking him already. The two other people that he shot, one that he shot his arm almost totally off. That guy had a gun drawn on him, was getting ready to attack him. The other guy bashed him in the head with the skateboard and kicked him down. So technically, he was truthfully defending himself. But let's take those blinders off again. Back to Mom. Why did you take him out there to begin with? Two, why is this kid out there with an AR-15 in public? You can express your rights to open carry. I totally get that. But if you're in a potential hostile situation, you're out there either trying to cause some shit or watch shit. One of the two. Pardon the French. You're instigating. Instigating is just as bad. So did those people deserve to die? I don't think so. Did he deserve to be attacked? He was probably a little asshole. He sounded like one, looks like one. He shouldn't have even been there in the first place. But at the same time, the dude was protecting his own life, and I can't fault him for that. I cannot at all. So you got two ways to look at it. And we as a country, we are so divided that those two situations, we will take one piece of the pie over here. This is absolutely right. Any other way you look at it is wrong. This way over here is absolutely right. Any other way you look at it is wrong. And we've got to stop doing that, guys. You know, there's two circles. Sometimes when they meet in the middle, cover my face. There's two circles. When they meet in the middle, that's usually where the truth lies. That's where the issue is. So how do we fix this, ladies and gentlemen? We've got to do something. I don't know. The answer is above me. But what I can say is it is fixable. There is still some good left in this country. And the reason I know this is because people my color are dying every year. Thousands die to try to come over to this country to make a better life for themselves. What can we do as people to stop our bickering and our arguing within each other so we can actually have the American dream? We could have others that could provide awesome assets to our country and be an asset to our country. We can provide away from them. Going into a whole different topic about immigration. I can go there, but I'm going to save y'all for that one, maybe on the next video, because after listening to some of the RNC talks, Melania Trump, I didn't know that it took her 10 years to gain citizenship, and she had money, and she was white. Imagine what our Latinos do. So I'll save that for a whole different topic. Let's get back to these horse blinders real quick. Let's take them off. Let's take them off, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we're going to fix a problem. We're going to take those horse blinders off. We're going to see our partner to the left. We're going to see our partner to the right. We're going to see people in front of us. My mom would be able to see in the back of her, but that's a whole different story as well. But see your surroundings, see your surroundings. You know that just because I have a different viewpoint than you have than your view, I'm not necessarily wrong, but I'm going to know that you're not necessarily wrong either. We just have two opinions, and that's what this country is built off of, opinions. We're built off of freedom. We're built off of the desire to go out and make something better for ourselves. I was part of a group call a few months ago with a group called the Mangrove Community. These guys are awesome. They're based out of Houston. And since that call, I'll put it this way. I was the only conservative on that call. Just looking at some of the issues and topics that they're talking about, it kind of brought me back to reality. And while, yes, I'm still going to say I'm conservative, because I am. Fiscally, I'm conservative. Socially, I'm moderate, and I've told you all about that. I do have some beliefs that I will fully hold on to as a conservative. My eyes are being opened up. My eyes were opened up, though, a little bit to the less than conservative side. Moderate, liberal, if you want to call it. Just hearing some of the stories kind of brought me back to reality. Hey, I've been through that. I've gone through that. I've seen it. I've experienced it. It's not that I was trying to pretend that it didn't exist. I was trying to look past it. And I think a lot of us are trying to look past issues. The only way we can look past an issue is if that issue is right in front of us, we tear that wall down, and we advance. Only then can we see and reach our full potential. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to have these videos in podcast format on Apple Play, Google Play, and Spotify. So if you want to listen to just the audio version of it, please feel free to go do so. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.
Else.